Protests in Poland after death of pregnant woman blamed on abortion ban.
Here's a summary of the article.
Silent protests have been held in a number of Polish cities in response to the death of a pregnant woman. Activists blame the near-total abortion ban introduced by Poland's constitutional court last year for her death. She linked their decision to the near-total ban on abortion introduced last year, which made abortions due to birth defects illegal. Activists called the woman in Pieszczyna the first victim of a near-total abortion ban in Poland, and yesterday's demonstrations took place under the slogan, "Not a single one more." Regarding whether the abortion law played a role in the death, the hospital simply stated that all medical decisions were made taking into account the legal provisions and standards of conduct in force in Poland, reports Gazeta. Marek Suski, a senior lawmaker from the ruling National Conservative Law and Justice Party, whose MPs applied to the Constitutional Tribunal to introduce the restrictions on abortion, also argued today that the woman's death is unrelated to the court ruling. On the 22nd of October 2020, the Constitutional Tribunal ruled that abortions carried out due to the diagnosis of a severe birth defect in the fetus, which had previously been permitted and made up over 90% of legal terminations in Poland, were unconstitutional.
This post received a score of 31,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
What a fucking awful way to die. Losing a wanted pregnancy because the fetus is a mutilated non-viable mess. Then the doctors make you continue to carry it because a barbaric law says they can't provide medical care to you. Developing sepsis and dying in agony as the infection eats away at you from inside, and dying alone because COVID so your loved ones aren't even around you. Then after death, a bunch of pompous old men sit around and gleefully say that your death is fine, and that you died in childbirth. If ghosts were real, I'd be sure to come back and make their lives hell.
This is exactly what happened in Ireland, with Savita Halappanavar. She died 9 years ago, in the exact same scenario. It's sickening to think that nearly 10 years on the same things are happening.
And in case of Poland you can be sure nothing will change, because Poland is ruled by bunch of fundamentalists and authoritarians who wage cultural war on the population. So expect more dead women, because she definitely won't be last here.
But hey, look on the bright side, they defeated communism and now everything in Poland is just so great and amazing, so glad they got rid of universal healthcare, education, and housing. So glad they let fundamentalist Christianity back in after the evil communists kicked him out.
Ohio has a very similar law, except doctors are allowed to intervene only when the woman's life is at extreme risk. So women in Ohio, who want their babies but there are pregnancy issues, have gone through hellish medical trauma simply because their life is not yet at stake. In order to have medical staff help the women, 2 doctors have to sign off on a form saying that the mom's life is at risk. Huffington Post had a personal story about a mom in Ohio who went through this. It's absolutely grotesque.
I think of this story often. Here's the link.
Death is what happens when politicians interfere in medical decisions. Death is what happens when politicians interfere with subject experts' decisions in their respective fields. Imagine politicians interfering with building codes, rockets launches, etc. The problem is, they do. Maybe not in the building codes directly, that's too arcane. But you bet your ass if the building code wanted to ban something that was profitable for a company like DuPont they would intervene. But more broadly, infrastructure, zoning and asset management decisions are constantly and incessantly interfered with by politicians.
They tried to ban encryption and laws of maths.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.